I just have to close my eyes, think about this long and hard, swallow it, just move on. That was disappointing. Very disappointing as a Wimbledon fan. Wimbledon 4-2 up at around the 70th minute, and they scored 3 goals in that half after coming down from 2-1. So they were in the driver's seat, but you can never have an AFC Wimbledon game without shit defending. And they just conceded 2 goals in the span of 2 minutes. And, yeah. Right, so before I do my little post-match analysis, I want to introduce myself. My name is Tiago. I upload some gaming videos, and I will upload some vlogs in the future, but I will also upload some videos regarding AFC Wimbledon. As an AFC Wimbledon fan, since 2018, you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, an American that supports AFC Wimbledon? Why not a team like Manchester United or Tottenham or Liverpool or something? But I'll get into that just now. So the story behind my support for AFC Wimbledon, FIFA 16 came around and I bought that game, and I decided to play career mode for the first time. Before I would always play online only. I decided to play as AFC Wimbledon because they were the lowest ranked English team in the game. So I wanted to play as them and then move them up from League 2 to League 1 to the Championship all the way to the Premier League. And I decided, you know what? I'll follow them. Let's see what this team is all about. And when I started following them, I found out about their story and how they used to have a club by the name of Wimbledon FC that were in the top flight of English football before this measly owner, measly, greedy son of a bitch from Milton Keynes decided to buy out the club instead of starting from the bottom in the 9th tier of English football like you're supposed to do. And the team relocated to Milton Keynes and were renamed to Milton Keynes Dons. I refer to that team as the team that shall not be named. Just Milton Keynes, Milton Keynes. Because they don't deserve the Dons name. Because, the Dons comes from Wimbledon. So why would you name yourself the Dons? The only Don in your name is the history that you took from us. But anyway, I say that as if I've been a Wimbledon fan for forever. You took that from us. That's our name. Somebody from Milton Keynes bought out the club instead of starting from the bottom as you're supposed to do. Start from the 9th tier of English football and work your way up. No, he decided to buy out Wimbledon FC, who at the time were in the top flight of English football. And yeah, AFC Wimbledon started from the bottom, from the 9th tier in 2002. They worked their way up, got promoted, got promoted most seasons. And then they were in the 5th tier, right below the professional threshold. And, of course, that famous penalty shootout win against Luton Town in 2011.
Down to one penalty kick to take them into the Football League.
Danny Kedwell with the game-winning penalty. But yeah, that's basically it. I started following them because I played as them in FIFA career mode. But then I went from a follower to a supporter ever since I heard about that story when Wimbledon FC were bought out, and then they started out from the bottom again. And I've been a fan ever since. And the first season that I started really watching the games, or at least following them, because I didn't have iFollow at the time, was the 2018-2019 season when they happened to stay up by, I think, a point. The last few games, they went on a tear. My greatest memory from that season was following the game. I didn't actually have iFollow at the time. They were 2-1 down against Luton Town, and I was just watching the scoreboard. Google. I looked it up on Google. That little scoreboard thing that has like the 93rd, 94th, that has the minute on there, and then there's like this green bar that goes from side to side. I'm just staring at that green bar. 92nd minute, or 91st minute, 92nd minute. All of a sudden, I see the one go from 2. I'm like, yes, let's go, because that was an important game. I think that was like the third to last game of the season, and Wimbledon were still in the relegation zone by about a point or 2. So they got a point against Luton, and then I decided to buy the match pass for their match against Wycombe Wanderers. Of course, Wycombe are in the championship right now.
Hey, but sidebar, I think I'm technically unemployed. So any managers, hit me up on the WhatsApp and get me a job. Come here, come here. 4 years ago, I stood in front of you and I was technically unemployed. Repeat. 4 years ago, I was here and I was technically unemployed.
That's correct.
Hey, and what'd you say? Let me tell you something. The only person that can hit me up on WhatsApp this time is Klopp.
But in that season, Wycombe were a relegation candidate, although they were 2 or 3 places above the relegation zone. So it wasn't like they were too much in danger to be relegated. But throughout the season, they were on that sort of area. They were a little bit above the threshold for the majority of that season. I bought the match pass. They won 2-1. They went 1-0 up, and then they gave away a goal in the second half, and then they scored a goal. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Piggott scoring the second one. Both goals were actually fairly scrappy from what I remember. The second goal, at least, was a cross coming in, and Piggott got his head in, but like it bounced off a defender, and then it slowly trickled in. Same with the Luton Town equalizer. That goal was really scrappy, of course. Piggott with the shot, it deflected, and the keeper went like this because of the deflected shot, and then someone else headed the ball in. I think it was Anthony Hartigan. No, actually it was Steve Seddon, sorry. Seddon heading that ball, and it was a free header. He had the whole goal open there after the keeper dove and like tried to pad the ball away because of the deflection there from the shot from Piggott. But anyway, my point stands. I'm a Wimbledon fan. I actually got a couple of monthly passes the season after that, but didn't get the full match pass or the full season pass. This season, I got the full season pass. I forked up a good $180 US dollars, and I'm a full-fledged fan now. But anyway, let's talk about the game a little bit. I was ecstatic when Piggott scored that free kick. I was ecstatic when Piggott took the ball from the defender, and it was a 2-on-1, got the ball to Longman. Longman chipped it over the keeper. I thought that was done and dusted. Game just ended, full time, 4-4, Wimbledon versus Plymouth. And they let it slip. They really, really did let it slip. And Wimbledon are known to have defensive lapses every now and again. And it wasn't any different last season than it was this season. The difference between this season and last season is that they have a lot more bright spots offensively. Chislett, we signed Chislett. It's a very, very solid player, young player. Ryan Longman at striker. We've had a bit of issues at the striker position. We would always have strikers come in on loan, like, for example, a Marcus Force, who was actually Wimbledon's leading goal scorer. And it's nice to see that we actually have some solidity in the striking position now, aside from Joe Piggott. Of course, Piggott has been playing for a few seasons now for Wimbledon. At times, he would have these shit performances, but for the most part, Piggott's a consistent player. Yeah, of course, the midfield is solid as well. You have the new signing, Ethan Chislett, very young player, very bright spot for the Wimbledon midfield. And then, of course, you have Alex Woodyard as the central midfielder, center attacking mid, if you will, and creates chances. And then, you have McLaughlin out wide on the left and Nesta Guinness-Walker on the right. Very pacey individuals and very good at whipping the balls in the box and very accurate with their crosses as well. It's not like they keep whipping balls like that goes way over the head of everybody else, but the issue, as usual for Wimbledon, defensively, and that's one of the risks you take when you play a 3-5-2. But even if they're playing a 3-5-2, which will, of course, see them in trouble every now and again on the counterattack, I really wish I could see them more consistent in terms of their marking and in terms of their overall defending. Those last 2 goals that they gave up, very poor marking. They were caught ball watching for the most part, and I will say Terrell Thomas was a good player today, at least for the first 60 minutes of the game. He was always he was like that Marshall in the back. He would always try to intercept anything. He was like the sweeper, actually, and then he would win a lot of headers. But the last 30 minutes of the game were just absolutely woeful for Terrell Thomas and company in the back there. And going forward, there's definitely some optimism for Wimbledon fans out there. There are definitely some bright spots that we need to look at. Most of those bright spots, if not all those bright spots, being offensively. Defensively right now, very shaky. And I'd like to see Will Nightingale make his way into the starting lineup a little bit more. Of course, last season he was injured for the better part of the season. Pretty much the entire season, actually. So we saw a lot of Terrell Thomas, Rod McDonald, and Luke O'Neill. But of course, Rod McDonald is not on the team anymore. Paul Kalambayi as the third center back. Every now and again we saw him on the attack, trying to provide some dangerous plays there for Wimbledon, but defensively it wasn't really the best, unfortunately. On that right-hand side, he got beat a lot, and of course, you got to give credit to Connor Grant. That second goal that put Plymouth Argyle 2-1 up over Wimbledon, hell of a strike there. Top bins from like 25, 30 yards out, left-footed curler. Really good goal, but that was pretty much the summary of the game there for Kalambayi. He got beat a lot on that right-hand side. And going forward, I'm really nervous. I'm really, I'm worried about their defense, and we'll see what happens. But bright spots offensively, and that's all I have to say for this particular affair. Yeah, I'll probably do more of these sort of post-match reaction videos. But yeah, I'll do more of these post-match reaction videos. I'll follow AFC Wimbledon throughout the season, of course, since I have the season video pass. Best $180 I've ever spent. But yeah, I'll follow them throughout the season. I'll post my reactions and whatnot. And stay tuned, guys.